What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Thursday, everybody. Okay, we just got a really interesting interview on the New York Times with Mr. Ross Douthat, who just interviewed Professor Diana Pasulka. But before that, I just want to show you off something that Jesse Michael sent me. Thank you, Jesse, for this. A great American Alchemy cap and the t-shirt right here, which actually glows in black light. And then, so here's a t-shirt in the back. Really awesome, Jesse. Thank you. I'll leave links in the description for his merch. Then I also received this from my friend Dan Cleary at the Others from Another Mother podcast. This is a patch from his show, the logo of his show. And then he got me mine from the Doomer Friday crew. I'm not going to wear this today until we have another Doomer Friday so I can wear it proudly. But thank you, Dan. Love you, man. So that was that for the merch. Thanks to Jesse and Dan for sending these over. I'm going to wear them with pride. But I want to talk about Professor Diana Pasulka, who is a professor of religious studies in the United States. And she's been very involved in this whole topic for a while now. She wrote 2 books, American Cosmic and Encounters. And both of them, she has a central figure who is Tim Taylor, who she calls Tyler on the books. She was just interviewed by Ross Douthat. They talked about everything, but I have a couple of clips that I want to run by you. And I want to give a little bit of an opinion on some of the things they say, but let's look at the first one. Yeah. So this is just a small clip that Ross himself posted on his official YouTube account. This is just a reel. And it says angels, demons, or alien technology. And this is the question that Ross wanted answered, and he didn't get it answered by Diana. And I found it really interesting the way she responded and the frustration from Ross, which is a frustration we all share, because this has been happening to me as well. I am inclined to believe that these people, abductees and people from the military who have these encounters or sightings, are seeing what they claim to see. But so far, the little physical evidence that we have is not convincing enough to tell us that there's actual craft or technology that is attempting to be reverse engineered. We don't know. That's the reality. Until we see proper evidence, at least I can tell you for myself, I am not convinced that there's actual technological craft up there. The objects are real, but I don't know what they are so far. And I'm sorry, but the people from the military who are coming forward and think that these are real, that these are craft, technological craft, I mean, they could be, but we need more evidence. That's the bottom line. And until we get that evidence, people are still going to be doubting. And people like Ross Douthat here is going to keep asking these questions. And he's going to keep pointing towards the inconsistencies that there are in these stories. And as I told you, we can't conflate the people that claim to see craft and people that claim that we can reverse engineer these craft. We can't conflate that with other phenomena that are also taking place, because there are abductions seem to be real, cattle mutilations are real, whatever the Nazca desiccated bodies are, they seem to be real. There's real data there. So as Pasulka said in this interview, which I'm going to leave in the description, we might be dealing with a number of things, not just one. And Pasulka also is part of this group that moved away a little bit from the government narrative that is trying to push this forward, because she also doesn't trust everything that the government people are trying to tell her. She's also part of the camp that seems to think that some of these are also maybe portrayed as angels or demons or stuff like that. Not that she believes they are. She just thinks that that's what people are claiming to see, and that's real. The sightings, that is, and the experiences, that is. But at the end of the day, we don't know what those are. And I definitely think we're not dealing with just one thing, just like Professor Pasulka thinks. So here's this first exchange.
Are there people inside the government who are like, okay, these are angels or demons, or these are literal aliens from another planet who we are speaking to?
Okay, so the people that I know think that there's, a real phenomena that they would like to back engineer and utilize.
Real technology.
Yeah, absolutely.
Machines.
Yes,
Okay.
they believe that. They believe that.
They believe that
I've not seen machines or anything like that. But I have
You have not seen?
No.
Have you talked to people who claim they have seen machines?
Yes.
Okay. And those people where do those people say they've seen the machines?
Well,
inside.
I can't say that, but I can say that I've talked to them about the machines, and they have not told me where they've seen the machines.
Okay. So this, all right. So this is.
I don't know if they've seen the machines or not, or if it's an elaborate setup where they're seeing something. So that's why I like to stay away from most of the government information about the topic. And these are people that are working for the government, with the government.
So that's one. And I just want to continue this train of thought because I think it's important. I think that Professor Pasulka gets a lot of bad rep from the atheists because they think that she is, for some reason, pushing some sort of religious agenda. I don't think that's the case. I think that she's trying to explore some of these interpretations of phenomena that have religious connotations to them, but I don't think she's pushing for any type of religion. In fact, in her work, you will see that she's actually convinced that this whole UFO movement is like on a slippery slope towards becoming a new religion. And I do agree with her. Some of the behavior from some of these people that are completely convinced that these UFOs are aliens from other planets and stuff, they are displaying behavior that is very much in line with a religious cult or a religion. And that is very concerning to me. And I think to Professor Pasulka as well. So we have to look at it from that angle too. We can't ignore that. And I also think that Professor Pasulka was not able to talk about these people who allegedly saw the craft because she was told by these people that she can't say that. And she respects that. And I do respect her for that. But Ross, at the very end of the interview, gave her one last chance to say, who is this person that saw a craft or a machine? And she refused. I have my guesses. I would say that Tim Taylor probably told her something, or Dr. Hal Puthoff probably told her something, or Dr. Jim Lakatsky probably told her something, or another one of those whistleblowers with military experience from either Vandenberg Air Force Base or Holloman Air Force Base. I don't know who she's talked to. She's talked to everyone, I would guess. And one of those told her that. But yeah, we are at an impasse here because those machines may well be American technology and they're hiding it. That may well be the case. But also, there is a phenomenon that she's been studying that has nothing to do with machines. That's also true. So I want to show you guys this other exchange with Pasulka where they talk about David Grush. And I think this one is also very interesting. So let's see what Ross has to say.
So there's a guy, one of the names we haven't mentioned is David Grush, who is another whistleblower who, again, had completely legitimate government credentials, both inside and also outside organizations that were doing some of these investigations. Grush came forward as a whistleblower, did the podcast rounds. He was on Joe Rogan, right, for a long conversation on Joe Rogan, testified before Congress, said a lot of really wild stuff that goes beyond the more limited nuance, right?
Yeah.
Said a lot of really wild stuff. And then essentially disappeared as a figure in the public eye. But if you listen to David Grush, you had the sense that David Grush and people like him want something to be revealed, if you take them seriously.
Yes,
If they
do.
want
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
no one assassinated David Grush.
That's a disingenuous take from Ross, completely disingenuous, because we're not living in the same times now, Ross. And there are elements of this whole story that span for decades of people who did die under mysterious circumstances who were trying to discuss this. And they were trying to come forward with this. And they did die under mysterious circumstances. So there is a history there of that. Nobody assassinated Grush, no, but that's because we're not living in the same era. In the internet era, if you try to get away with something like that, it's more difficult. And I know that people are going to talk about the Boeing whistleblowers who also perished, but I do think that this topic has already become a little more mainstream than before. And if Grush was attacked in that way or assassinated or something like that, he would become an instant martyr. And that wouldn't be a good idea for the secret keepers. So they can't really move against him in that way, but they do find other ways. So I found it very disingenuous that you didn't mention those other ways. They did write opinion pieces and hit pieces against him with intel directly from FOIA that was recommended to this person who wrote the piece, who is Ken Klippenstein. You're not mentioning that at all. That is another form of attack and character assassination that Grush has experienced and others too. And also there is the trial that David Grush is currently under, where he's trying to protect his credibility and he's trying to sue the people who defamed him and used his PTSD as a tool to attack him. You're not mentioning that either. So I found that really interesting, Ross. But I am mentioning it now. So you don't have to.
He was written about in the New York Times. He testified before Congress. You talked earlier about there's pushback to this stuff and it's, harsh edits and on Wikipedia pages, right? Like this is, I feel like we've demonstrated in the last few years that if you want to be a UFO whistleblower, the cigarette smoking man is not going to bundle you into a car and take you away. You can go be a UFO whistleblower. And
yeah, disingenuous, Ross, because of the things that I just told you.
If that's true, and the whistleblowers say they want to reveal something and then it doesn't get revealed, then I default back toward the Wall Street Journal narrative where it's probably layers of disinformation concealing, top secret drone programs, which, by the way, one reason we're having this conversation, that is also a really interesting story, right? Like if it is the case that you, as a serious academic, are being made use of by people in the government who want to cover up crazy drone technology, that would be pretty interesting too. I think all the answers here are interesting. I just would like to know what they are.
Yeah, so I don't think we can have those answers. So, I'm here to study this. I've studied it. And I think that the transparency that people want from the government is not forthcoming. I'm sorry that you want that answer. I just don't think it's coming.
But I don't want transparency from the government writ large. I want the next whistleblower, who's a human being, a representative of the government, to come forward and take the further step of saying, hey, someone showed me an alien spacecraft. And by the way, it was in this base here and Congress people can go see it.
That's not an unfair request from Ross Douthat. He didn't mention any of the attacks that David Grush has suffered, by the way. I thought that choice was very interesting from him. But yeah, he's right about that. And be careful what you wish for, Ross. You might just get it sometime. I don't know. I'm going to leave the link to the entire interview in the description. I thought he generally did a good job at pushing Diana Pasulka because she clearly is very well connected and she knows a lot of stuff. So if she concedes an interview like this, it's expected that somebody's going to push her on some of the things that she may or may not know. And I thought Ross did a decent job at that. The only thing that I had against Ross's line of questioning was that he didn't mention those aspects that are very real. People do get attacked and people do get harassed constantly, but they're not going to be assassinated because this is a way too public of a topic for it to get that type of attention. So that's not going to happen, but we may get those answers. I certainly hope so. It's becoming a little frustrating. I can tell by Ross's demeanor and the line of questioning that he made, but I don't know. We just have to be a little bit more patient. I think that a lot of stuff is already happening. I don't get it with people saying that nothing is happening. It's the same thing always. It's around and round we go. I don't agree with you guys. I think stuff definitely is happening on a daily basis, I think. And we're trying to cover it here for you guys. So thank you for your support. Let me know what you think in the comments about the entire interview and about these two clips that I shared with you guys. And why do you think Ross didn't mention those character assassination attempts against Grush? Let me know in the comments. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That's all you need to do in order to help us, and it is what helps us the most. So thank you. But if you want to support the channel in any other way, there's a few links down there you can choose from. You can become a member on YouTube, or you can support us through KGRA. Anything you choose to do is always very appreciated. So thank you. That's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious and inquisitive like Ross Douthat from the New York Times, always. And thank you, Jesse and Dan, for the merch. Bye.